We zoom in on a darkened road, hearing labored breathing as a man comes running over the horizon, donned in nothing but a pair of pink tennis shoes, some sweatpants, and a stained tank top. In his left hand, half of a cheeseburger. In his right hand, a bloodied baseball bat. His eyes are wide, frantic. He is sprinting the sprint of someone riding a wave of adrenaline and raw fear. He looks over his shoulder. He doesn't seem to see anything, but the fear is there. And the frame freezes and comes in onto his face. Hi, my name is Bill Williamson. For those of you who aren't following along, yes, that does mean my name is William Williamson, and yes, I did get picked on in school. You're probably wondering how I got here, and I have to tell you, it's a series of events that I really didn't anticipate. It all started with one particularly bad run-in I had a few days ago. The scene changes. You see a plain wall with a hang in there kitty poster on it, and you hear the constant ring of an alarm. A hand flies over the screen and slaps the alarm. Slap, 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 slap. A title comes across the screen just saying 3 days ago. Bill gets up, bleary-eyed, licking the inside of his cheeks for no apparent reason other than morning mouth gunk, and stares at the alarm clock like it has betrayed him in some way. He then gets up and on autopilot does not go to the bathroom, but instead the pull-up bar. He's about 2 pull-ups in before he seems to realize that he's doing pull-ups instead of getting ready for work. Gets back down and goes through the humdrum process of splashing water in his face, but missing his face, so it just goes down the front of his shirt, which really seems to get him going. He screams, he jumps, and he scores 0 points because he bangs his foot into the base of the toilet. After jumping around and cursing for some time, he finally gets to actually splashing water in his face, not that he needs it at this point, and brushing his teeth while hatefully staring into the mirror. Is he angry at the mirror or himself? No one knows!
And with that, Bill, the intrepid Bill, prepares for work. How do you prepare for work, Bill, besides stubbing your fucking toe like a champ?
Well, after getting dressed in some business attire that he doesn't treat properly at all, that goes to the washer and dryer just like everything else, he wanders over to the kitchen, only to realize that he really doesn't have any food per se. He has several condiments, most of which were pawed from restaurant tables, but he doesn't have any actual food. So what he ends up having to settle for is taking a few of the jam packets that you get at like diners and things like that and opening them and just sadly sucking out the contents, which right after he brushes his teeth isn't that appetizing. But that is what he's got, some sugar. He then goes outside to his slightly overgrown lawn and looks upon his happy home, a fixer-upper that never got fixed, a single-story bungalow, which has enough room on the driveway for his sad, sad used car. It is about a mid-sized sedan-shaped object that I'm sure was popular for young professionals in the 1980s.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. He then gets in and does not listen to the radio because, frankly, the radio has not worked in some time. He realizes that he still left a sign on it that is just a piece of paper taped to the radio that says in bold letters, "Please steal me." And then he turns on the air conditioning, which is not air conditioning. Air comes through, but its temperature is neutral. It's never hot, it's never cold. It's
Questionable at
just
best.
questionable temperature air. Whether rain or shine, hot or cold, the most it can do is circulate false wind into his dead little eyes.
And always
As
with a slight musty smell.
oh, we're
Always.
not even gonna start about that. Okay. He pulls into work, and there's a moment of hope because in the center console, he spies the corner of a Lay's potato chip bag from the vending machine. And then he realizes that it's just an empty bag he ditched in his car because he ate everything and he didn't want to like go all the way to a trash can like a normal human being.
No.
And he just gets to have that moment of fucking sadness staring at the empty Lay's bag before he gets out and locks his car and then unlocks it and gets back in and rolls down the windows to ensure the theft of the radio that will never happen because no one will steal something at an invitation in this world. And just starts heading towards the door, and he stops in front of it for like 2 seconds because he kind of has a sinking feeling of what's on the other side, but it doesn't matter because he's got to get that money, that sweet I don't have a single shred of food in my fucking house money. He opens the door.
He does. He opens the door. He forges boldly onwards into a perfectly generic office. Just an office with the little push-up tile ceilings, and it's so bland and so generic, except of course for where his loving, caring manager has put up inspirational and morale boosting bits of flair, she calls them. It's flair. It's not decorations, that would be silly. Flair. But as he forges through the doors and creeps in to clock himself in, lurking almost as though she knows he's coming, is, in fact, said manager.
Just tries to move along like nothing's fucking wrong. He just has to clock it.
Oh, she does. She does not say a word. She just, makes this pointed little glance towards her watch. Just to check, just to be sure. After all, we must be timely.
And he goes to clock in now.
You go to clock in. She is still just, look at this watch. It's wonderful and it's perfectly on time. And she will watch and she will wait until you've gone through the motions of clocking in. And then, tapping the watch lightly just to draw attention to it, to make sure that little motion of the finger catches the eye. Flicks a disapproving little look up and a little shake of the head, and however, for the moment, spares you a lecture, because after all, you're a whole minute, by which we mean like 3 seconds late. How fucking dare. Best to scurry away. Scurry to freedom, or to, a cage, a nice cornered place where she can find you later.
He goes to his cubicle, otherwise known as one of the layers of Dante's fucking Inferno.
He does! And my oh my, look at that lovely, inviting pile of paperwork you have on your desk. Just ready and waiting.
Yep, skidoo!
Right there in the inbox.
It is larger than his head.
It is. It's taller than his head.
And he gets the first sheet and just starts. No going to get coffee now.
Nope. There is no saving you. There's nothing to be done. Thankfully, for the first little bit of your workday, you are spared. Or is that just to build suspense? To build tension as you scribble indefinitely, type indefinitely, until, oh, the greatest of woes, your pen's out of ink.
So he does that thing where he gets a piece of like scrap paper and he tries, man. He fucking tries. All right.
Scribbles viciously.
They're like it gets to the point where he tries different scribbling patterns, like one of them's magically going to shake some more fucking ink out of this thing.
No.
But eventually he has to like understand that he's simply made several indentations, possibly into the table.
I mean, possibly. Potentially. Got a little enthusiastic there in your desperation. As you know, to whom you will have to go to get yourself a new pen.
The pen goes into the waste bin, and he looks around in the hopes that there's some sort of other pen. There's not.
No, of course not.
Takes a deep breath and he counts to 10, but he only gets to 8 before he stands up and starts heading toward where all the fucking office supplies are, just right next to
Yes. Yes.
He figures if he doesn't make fucking eye contact, he just get a pen and leave.
Yeah, that always works.
It works 70% of the time, every time.
70% of the time it works every time. I love it. So you stride, knowing your mission and the risk of failure. And just to throw off your groove as you're calculating the chances that you are incredibly fucked, a familiar face pokes out of another cubicle.
Doo-doo-doo. Just looks at him and is like, please tell me you have a spare pen from somewhere.
What? A spare pen? Are you crazy?
Please.
I'll check for you. And he, you hear the rolly chair noise. His head disappears. And your buddy James, and buddy's a strong word, but your buddy James proceeds to at least go through the process of checking, around his desk, checking the drawer, but does in fact roll back over, offering a helpless shrug. Oh, James, you are the most helpful of coworkers.
You tried, man.
I tried, but you know how she is.
Yeah. God forbid the single pen not be directly near her workstation.
Oh yeah, all pens must be accounted for.
I mean, makes sense in a way. Your vision's based on movement.
Yeah, pretty sure it is.
Well, time to go get murdered by a velociraptor.
Good luck. I hope you watch that new Jurassic Park movie. Maybe you can, I don't know, do some dinosaur whispering thing.
Clever girl. And he just goes back to his original plan. 7% of the time, every time.
And as you creep along, just for fucking lols. Let me find you. There you are, my friend.
Fool.
I'm ready for this stealth roll.
You ready
so
for
ready.
this fucking dice pool?
So ready. I've never been so ready.
This is the hero we deserve. Oh. Come on, man. Like, give me the dice. Why you gotta do this to me, roll 20?
That's not even roll 20. That's sidekick.
I know. But try it again in case I typed it wrong.
You didn't?
No! Oh, I haven't updated. That's
it's okay.
Why.
That's not you. That's sidekick.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use roll 20. God, 3, 4. All right, Bob. Are you ready for whatever is
Yeah.
about to happen?
Yeah.
What helps if they're the right kind of dice? There we go. D20s would not help. Boop. Oh dear. Well, that is a grand total of 0 successes. Because the good Lord is not with you in this moment of need.
This is appropriate in a way.
And so, it seems to be the erstwhile 30%. As you can practically, in fact, you can. In fact, here. Oh! Nah, fuck it. Psychic finally caught up. But it is too late for you. It only caught up once out of 2. That's unfortunate. All the same, as you just meander over to the supply cabinet, where you know there are pens. Pens in abundance. A veritable cornucopia of pens. And you click that, that little turny knob bit, little lever knob, and it squeaks so loudly. You swear she does this on purpose. And she appears.
Just go through the motion trying to get this fucking pen.
Oh, is something wrong, Bill?
No, ma'am.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes. Tell me the doors are really loud when it opens.
Oh, yeah, it just... As she's watching, staring the whole
Just
time.
takes the fucking pen, pulls it out, goes through the whole deal trying to close this fucking door. Never closes the first try either.
Click, clunk, clunk. The whole time. Just staring. You begin to wonder if there's any soul behind those just cheery, dead blue eyes.
He already knows there isn't.
Did something go wrong this morning, Bill?
Um,
I did notice you were later than usual getting in. I hope everything's all right.
yeah, the last pen ran out of ink, so now I'm getting a new pen. That I have now in my hand.
Oh, good. And I hope whatever happened this morning won't happen again. She lays a very understanding, evil, cold little hand on your shoulder.
Never again, ma'am.
Oh, good, good. That is exactly what I like to hear. Well, do go on.
And it goes.
You can feel her gaze on you the whole trek back to your cubicle.
Yeah, you can.
And so, for the moment, you seem to have escaped. And you settle back at your cubicle, shaking off the pure evil that you're pretty sure was laid on you. It's almost like being cursed. By, so much as the brush of her hand. And back to your thrilling and very tangible, literal paperwork. Who uses this much paper? It's the digital age, really. Why do you even have a computer? Probably just so she can email you.
He's come to that conclusion long ago. Like, there's no other reason for him to have, like, a work computer other than for her to send him work emails.
And so, your morning continues. No coffee, No breakfast. No hope in your little heart. And naturally, as the clock slowly creaks towards lunchtime, slowly inches its way along, and you keep checking, you've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes left. And then you can clock for lunch. And just as the second hand hits for 2 minutes, 2 minutes to lunchtime, you hear the doom descending upon you. That perky little clip of heels coming down the corridor.
And all he can think in this, his most noble of moments, is just take James. Just take James and not me.
Sadly, you hear her continue. Coming closer. Ever closer. Damn it, she's past James's cubicle. Ever closer. And sure enough, she comes around the entrance to your cubicle with that perfectly sculpted. Does she ever not do that perky little grin? That little false smile. Comes around with another handful of paperwork and just ever so primly steps, takes that one step in you have to take to reach the inbox, not fully entering per se, but takes that one step in and plops another, what we'll say, 3-inch tall pile of papers into your inbox. And then just ever so gingerly again brushes your shoulder with the fingers. Oh, would you be a dear and do these before lunch?
Yes, ma'am.
Just what I like to hear. Pat, pat. And off she clicks. Click, click, click. The little
He
heels
knows
ringing
he's
like a
not
death
eating.
knell.
He knows he's not eating today. And so he just goes on filling these things out.
How you feeling, Bill?
Fuck.
That does sum it up nicely.
That is like his entire thought process. In fact, the next hour of work is just the beginning of the word, and then that long and then when he finally gets near the end, the ka comes in.
So you do, in fact, work through your lunch. James does, in a very neighborly fashion, offer you his bag of chips from his lunch.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
It is palmed to you like veritable contraband, after all. We're not supposed to eat in the cubicles, are we?
Well, you know what? I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Oh no. Why would you do that to me? I wasn't ready. Oh God. God damn it. So, you do in fact hide your contraband. How well do you hide your contraband, sir? Where do you stuff it? No one will see.
Same place he always stuffs it, his pocket. She looks in the fucking trash cans.
God. You were too ready. I was not ready enough. And so, you do work through your lunch, but hey, you got a couple calories. Got a whole bag of chips. I mean, it was one of those little lunchy bags of chips like you get out of the vending machine, but it was something, right, buddy?
Bill is 200% sure it was from the vending machine.
He's not wrong in this assumption, in this knowledge. He probably even heard James go down and get it from the vending machine.
These are the things that make Bill like James, even if he is immediately willing to throw James under the bus.
That's okay. James is just as willing. At least in moments of pique. He tries. Bless his little heart. I mean, just look at that face. So endearing. But nonetheless, you work through your lunch, you work through your day, and you know what? As it gets closer, just always creeping ever so slowly closer towards that magical 5 o'clock. Because after all, this is your classic 9 to 5 office job. We'll say about 4-ish. The click of the heels sounds. It might as well be like that sudden shrieking music in a horror flick, really.
Bill knows.
And sure enough, it is oncoming. Oncoming. Oh God, does it pause? It does. The clicking pauses. Well, we read about James's cubicle. Very briefly, fleetingly, even. And just in time enough for you to breathe that sweet sigh of relief. It begins anew. And sure enough, in mere moments, there she is, framed by the entrance to your lovely, threadbare cubicle.
Just filling out paperwork. Papers. I fill out papers.
And sorry as I... What in the world? That is a weird name. Sorry, I had to check the name. Oh, Bill, as soon as you're done with that, Mr. Byrne would like to see you. It is time for your annual review.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, dear. And throwing you again that just soulless, false little smile. She clips away with with that little waft of, kind of old ladyish perfume. So lovely. Delicious.
Bill finds himself in a strange event where his paperwork's about done. But he's still gonna have to be here after 5 because Burma's doing things. Bill is very aware of office politics, and he doesn't think he's gonna get promoted. But he does, in a dark way, hope he gets fired, because then he'll get unemployment.
We can always hope for the finer things. We can always hope and pray.
Just mumbles to himself, please, wrongful termination. Please, wrongful termination. And he gets up, and he just starts heading towards his bird's office. It's fucking great. His eyes are locked on. He's not going to look away from this.
This is one of those things that as you perform this brief little outing from your cubicle, you're reminded suddenly and strongly of that walk of shame one makes in high school when called to the principal's office. You don't have to have done anything wrong, but the fact that the principal wants to see you at all means there are eyes on you.
It's all right. He knows he's the last person in here other than Edna and Burm himself. Everyone else was smart enough to fucking run, but not Bill.
Not Bill. I mean, where are you going to hide in that tiny cubicle? And by the time you hear the click of the heels, it's already too late. She is, after all, just down the aisle from you. Right down at the end, right next to the supplies. But, thankfully, you're heading in the opposite direction. The one redeeming feature of heading to Mr. Burm's office is that you do not have to pass her on your way there. It's the only consolation, really. Oh my god, when did you say I take 8 points of rage?
I literally just typed that.
Okay, I thought I'd missed it until literally just now. All right, buddy. Well, I mean, how are you feeling there, Bill?
I mean, there's just kind of a lot of resignation and low-key annoyance that might be gearing into high key now that this shit's going on.
All right. And so, you woke up to the door. After all, Mr. Burm is pretty much the only one in the building who has a proper office of any sort. Really. Even, God damn it, as I swapped too many things. Even Edna. Though it's hard to tell whether it's due to a lack of an office available or just because she loves so much to be down where she can see and hear everything you all do. You don't doubt it. You know she just wants to micromanage the fuck out of you. But okay. And as I quickly glance at his thing, very well, you approach Charles W. Burm's office. There's a little plaque on the door. I mean, it's not expensive, but it's a little plaque. It's one of the ones that slides into a little slot. Not that he'll ever be going anywhere.
Oh, Charles. Rumor has it he was actually one of the co-founders. But nobody here's ever seen any of the other founders, even at like the Christmas party. Either way, he's here every day. Fucking creepy, too. At this point, Bill's almost forgotten his face. Feels the same way until every Christmas party, really.
I mean, it's kind of like spotting Bigfoot. It's not frequent
But
or
it is
necessarily
exciting.
believable. But yes, it's certainly exciting.
Well, the one thing he fucking knows, alright, his friend taught him this. You gotta knock. So he knocks.
You do! And from inside, there rings a voice. A voice that you swear you've heard before. Probably at the Christmas party. Says, come in.
Bill comes in.
You do. And stretched out before you is, I mean, a pretty standard office situation. With, the desk and the computer and Mr. Burm himself.
This shit, like...
Not this shit. No. There's no comfy armchair here. This is an office building. We can't be comfortable.
Let's be fair. He is the boss. It's probably a pretty swank-ass swivel chair.
It is a pretty swanky swivel chair. But it is not an armchair. And the cabinets are not made of rich mahogany. They're pretty generic metal filing cabinets.
They're like rich mahogany in Bill's imagination.
Oh my god. Why you gotta kill me like this? But he kind of glances up as the door opens, goes back to whatever he is typing. Probably one of, I mean, maybe it's an email? Maybe he's writing to the mythical, the rarely, never seen? The mythical co-founders. Perhaps. Or maybe he's just telling Edna to shut up. You can hope. You can imagine. You can dream, really. But he will gesture briefly to the chair on the far side of the desk from himself.
Bill's trying to think positively, so he's constructing this image of Mr. Burm in his mind as this, like, unsung hero of the office workers who, like, for every one time that Edna has visited hell upon them all, shuts her down like 10.
No wonder he's such a busy man.
It would take a Herculean effort to stop that fucking tidal wave. But 12 labors of Hercules or no. Bill sits the fuck down because that's what the boss told him to do.
It is what he told him to do. Or gestured vaguely for him to do. And finally, he finishes typing whatever it is. Hits that enter key so decisively. Or I guess clicks his mouse very decisively. You have to click a send button. You can't just hit enter. That's madness. Unless he's like messaging someone, at which point that is a misuse of office supplies, really. He decisively clicks the mouse. And then finally kind of turns away from the computer and towards that plane of the desk across which sits our dear friend Bill. And he reaches out, grasping a tidily stapled little set of papers, pulling them over in front of them. Well, in front of him. And, glancing at the top sheet. And how long has Bill worked here?
2 years.
Oh, we're coming up on that magical number 2. So proud. Shed a tear. And he does glance over the top sheet before flicking it open, and there's the tiniest upward tweak at the corner of his mouth. William Williamson. Still not so sure you didn't just pull one over on us, really. As he goes over to review the contents of this tidy little report. Do you have any words for dear Mr. Burm?
No, the boss can make the jokes. It's fine. It's fine. Hell, the fact that he's just kind of reminding Bill that he owns a human voice.
He does. He does. He has one whole human voice. And I mean, it's so generic, really. Like, he is your boss and he has that limelight around him. But he's just so painfully average. He could be anyone's dad, really. Even the voice, so maybe he masquerades as a normal person about the office and nobody knows until the office party. There's no real telling. All the same, he does seem faintly amused. He flicks the cover page over, starts reviewing. All right, I see. Paperwork. Attendance. Just kind of blahs through it. Kind of mumbling to himself, really, more than to you. And finally reaches the end of this lovely report. Okay. Timeliness. Flicks a glance up.
Bill's pretty sure this is rhetorical.
What are we going to do to fix it?
Not be late, sir.
You get kind of snapping the point. Good man. Well, paperwork seems to be in order. Minimal discrepancies, all of them quickly remedied. No flip. And rather than even addressing the idea of that, everyone hopes that during that annual review you get just a little pay bump. Just a quarter. Come on, man, just a quarter. But instead of addressing this in the least, looks through it, nods firmly to you. Any complaints? Any feedback? Any suggestions?
No, sir.
Thank you for your time. Takes up the little papers, flips the cover sheet back over.
Yeah, Bill knows when he's been being invited to fuck off.
He is. Just rocket powered.
No, but it's definitely a business power walk.
The business power walk. Ah, an official gate known by all office workers, really. And so you very quickly and efficiently let yourself out as the papers are laying on the desk once more. And give me a perception alertness, good sir.
One of my stronger dice pools. Wow, I got 3.
You did. Holy shit. So, perhaps to others less concerned with their surroundings, it would seem simply as though your beloved manager is waiting outside, waiting her turn to just have a quick word with the owner. But you catch it, that slight lean as the door pops open. Perhaps your business walk was faster than she could account for. But she snaps upright so quickly. She wasn't eavesdropping. That would be inappropriate and rude. It just flashes you that little tight, tense smile she always has. Oh! And simply seems to be willing to let you pass. But do you have any thoughts on this, good sir?
Bill does some quick math. He's in his 20s, barely out of college. Kind of lucky he got this job, with like 0 experience to begin with. She's looking like she's at least headed on the choo-choo train toward her 50s. Average life expectancy, about the mid-70s. So if he waits long enough, she'll just die.
Shall I assume you just keep going like nothing happened?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just doing that math in his head while he walks.
Oh my god. You do. You continue your full stride. You break not so much as a bit of your step as you continue onwards. Just for fun, how hard are you pretending nothing totally just happened and you didn't see shit?
As hard as he can.
Would you like to roll me just a subterfuge?
Absolutely.
Just to see how well you can compose your features. Power dice indeed.
Yeah, it's not at night, so I didn't use my hot merit. But I got 1 whole success.
Hey, that's one.
Actually, wait, let me review my sheet for a second. I need to re-roll. I did it wrong. I'm sorry. Here, let me correctly do this. 0 successes.
You can practically hear that Metal Gear Solid exclamation point pop up over her head. Yep. But she does not engage. Not now. Oh no. She will wait. She will bide her time. Like the veritable servant of Satan that she is.
Now, that being said, Bill doesn't go all the way out, not yet. Because he has a feeling that somebody laid a fucking trap for him. And he looks in his cubicle, specifically his inbox.
You could have sworn you did it all, but there's just like 1 or 2 more papers in there.
Clever girl. And he kind of like nods to himself, like, yep. Had to know that shit was coming. So he just slides himself in. And you know what? He'll take the extra time with these motherfuckers.
Good man. And as you move on, she hovers briefly, but soon enough you hear the click of the only door besides, the exit, really, as she disappears into the ether of management.
So he finishes up. It's like 1 or 2. It's one or two, and she's not breathing down his neck, which actually makes him more efficient. So he knocks it out, 30 minutes tops.
Yep. And
30 minutes he can never get back.
yeah.
And after that, because nobody's there to see him do it, oh, I'm free now.
You flee. You flee. And for once today, she does not magically appear to stall you at the door. Have just a quick word before you go. Naturally, after you've clocked out. She never wants to have a quick word before you clock out.
Nope, he clocks out. He knows she's too busy trying to fucking poison Berm's ear.
But hey, for now you escape. The sweet taste of freedom. And as you walk out into the parking lot, where everyone who had the sense to just keep their head down a tiny bit more than you has already fled, leaving like, 3 whole cars in the parking lot, including yours?
Yup.
Man, they go like lightning.
They do. Bill knows how to pregame this. Drives to his house. That radio still has not been stolen.
Nope.
Well, whatever. He fucking leaves that there with the windows down and everything, just hoping, really. And he will walk to the bar.
Clever girl. You walk to the illustrious establishment known only as Jeff's. That is the wrong picture.
Ah!
That would be one hell of a thing to find at Jeff's. Thankfully, not today, Satan. Not today.
If he was there, Bill would have straight up Abe Simpsoned it, like hat up, hat back in hand, out.
No, your luck is not that bad, good sir. At least, not in this fashion. So I am going to roll a thing. Just for my own clarity. Oh, joy. Excuse me, kitty. This is not the moment. Excuse me. And so you walk to Jeff's, your favorite place. Do please describe me this. I feel like you're going to make this establishment far more interesting than I ever could.
I mean, Jeff's is not a fancy place, and that's part of the charm. It's clean. All right. This isn't a sticky floor type establishment. It's reasonably spaced out. This is a bar that from time to time is known to serve food. So there are a few booths. They're not waitressed or anything. You got to go up and then order the thing and wait on it and bring it back. But from time to time, they will serve food. There are people other than Jeff who work here. He just happens to be behind the bar every night because, goddamn it, he owns the place and may as well operate it. But this is the type of place where you swear to God that almost everything is some form of wood. Like the floors are polished wood, the counter, bar, woody wood, walls, wood paneling, and a lot of really kind of. I am sure these lamps were very much Trey chic back in like the fucking 70s, but now they just look kind of tacky, and they stand out against the wood. It's all primary colors with this shit. But you know what? Jeff likes them. He owns the place, so there they fucking stay. Plus, this is the only fucking place, the only place that during specials night, which is Monday night, to kind of minimize on how special shit gets with the cost, where you can get 2 for $1 bottles. Okay? That's a fucking deal. That's a fucking deal.
That is a fucking deal.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
Yes.
now remember, That's Monday night when people are the least likely to come in and start drinking, except for hardcore alcoholics like Bill here.
Oh, Bill.
So it minimizes costs that way, but also you'll get that guy who tell his friends, yeah, you can get 2-for-1 bottles, just only drink, they're good. So, it's kind of it's like
Just
the
like that?
halfway of good word of mouth and like planning in terms of expense versus like any sort of benefit this will draw.
This is
Um,
true.
this is the true compromise of all specials.
It is the truest of compromises. But you, good sir, you know what's up.
Now,
And
there's
you
a
are one of those hardcore alcoholics.
yes.
You.
Now there's a more open place, like because there's the bar, there's the booze, but down there's a more open space. Now on weekends, okay, this place goes full on country music and square dancing happens over there. No shit, square dancing. Okay, people who don't normally come in to square dance, and inevitably there's like a fist fight or two, but mostly square dancing. And a little farther past that, there is the pool table, and there's like a bajillion cues, but maybe 4 of them aren't slightly bent in that way that you'll only know if you roll the cue across the table. And it's still a full set of balls, and it is one of the ones where you got to pop your quarters in to get the rack, so that people don't have to like mind it the whole fucking time. And there is also a dartboard. This is not as closely monitored or monetized as the fucking pool table. It's got some darts. Some are one color, some are the other color. Hopefully you're not so drunk that you'll hit another patron instead of the fucking board. Fun! And that's aside from a jukebox, which is hilariously the highest tech thing in this fucking building. It is one of those jukeboxes that like has downloaded updates on the regular without the owner having to fuck with it. It's the most online thing in this building. Okay, even the fucking register isn't as technically advanced as this fucking jukebox. All right, and you can put 1s, 5s, and 20s in this motherfucker to buy yay number of songs and pay a little extra to make sure yours is played next. And the selection is wide. The only time that Jeff assumes direct control is when he has to ensure that the square dancers are made happy in their bizarre ritual of dancing in a square-like formation. Okay. The only time Jeff fucks with it, that and the guy who like collects the money. But that is not Jeff. Jeff gets cut.
He do. He gets a pretty handsome cut.
Gets a pretty handsome fucking cut. And that's the bar. Oh, and like 2 bathrooms in the back. They're both relatively clean.
Well, of course. I can't even. You're a treasure. So, into Jeff's you go. I'm going to assume, as the hardened, practiced alcoholic that you are, you're just going to sit at the bar.
He is just going to sit at the bar. And you know what? He's so fucking bummed out that he's not even going to take advantage of the 2-for-1 bottles. There is not going to be any fucking Bud Light tonight. Nope.
Gasp.
I'm trying to decide what drink he would order. And I think in honor of the movie The Big Lebowski.
Oh, no.
He's going to drink some White Russians.
So essentially chocolate milk.
Essentially.
What better way to soothe your heavy heart than with an alcoholic milk product?
Perhaps later milk will prove to be a bad choice. But it is not now.
And so you and your bummed face sit at this bar, and you don't even go for the special.
Doesn't go for the special. Goes straight for this memeified drink. Big Lebowski was released how many fucking years ago, and people still go on about this cocktail. And it is such a sad sack moment that there is even the first few times where he settles into this like fucking burnt orange seat and he loosens his tie, the 1, 2, 3 pulls, it takes it about mid sternum and undoes the top button. And then there's that long sigh, like that button was just holding back all of the steam and ennui in his body.
And sure enough, as your sigh is completed, there, like the beacon of hope that he is, standing just across from you on the other side of that counter, is Jeff. The very sympathetic look. He knows this face and this sigh. He knows it too well. And he has your drink, which he offers across. Rough day?
Yeah. The my ever benevolent supervisor torpedoed my annual review again.
Ooh. Not good. Not good.
I mean, you're telling me, man, I got a whole another year with no pay bump because of that shit.
I mean, I can't say I've ever met this lady, but are you absolutely sure that she's not Satan?
Honestly, like, I feel like Satan would have more, like, style and panache.
No panache, huh?
No panache. This isn't like Milton's Lucifer where he waxes poetic about everything and has no shit like spear and shield. This is just pieces of flair and the pettiest shit. Like whatever happened to this lady, man? Like who did what that she's just been inspired for the rest of her days to fuck with anybody that comes across her in just the tiniest ways? It's like a combination of like Death by a Thousand Cuts and ragified Milton from Office Space.
There's kind of a, ooh. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. You ever try getting a shot back?
No, man, like I don't know what it is. You know, maybe the Satan thing is right. She may as well be touched by the Prince of Darkness because like people have worked there longer than me, right? Like people
Yeah.
who knew her before she was a manager. And it's just impossible to get her fired, man. It's impossible to get any kind of dig on her. Not only is she the master of just like counters, but even when like legit HR complaints have come across, they all just like die quietly in the corner. I don't know what it is, man.
Ooh. Ooh. It's, that is a situation. And you sure there's nowhere else you could pick up a job? How many years of experience does another place require?
I mean, yeah, you got a point. Like, my resume is up to date. I'm gonna start shopping around, been shopping around. It's just one of those things where, like, yeah, I'd feel pretty cool flipping the table and quitting on the spot, but they're like my only reference.
Yeah, I can't take that one. What about the boss man? You sure? Sure it was her.
I'm sure. Like Boss Man's like Casper the apathetic ghost. Okay, like dude cares about his bottom line. Like managers talk to him, right? And he'll feel one way, he'll feel the other. Some of them tell me he has a personality. Um,
You don't say.
yeah, I found it hard to believe. That's right up there with unicorns and Tom Cruise's murder thereof. But like, friggin', I don't know. Just he just doesn't really give a shit like about the little guys. I guess he's just too high up to see us as more than like some weird little piles of paperwork to keep crossing his desk.
And Jeff is kind of idly ruffling the back of his hair with a hand, like, "Ugh." Man, it sounds like the best thing you can do is get out of there, really. I mean, how long you been working there?
2 years now.
I mean, 2 years experience has to be worth something.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I tried last year when I got snubbed and wasn't quite enough, but this might be that extra little push.
Cross my fingers for you. How about that?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Is like at this point in the conversation, he's like 3 drinks in.
He's probably makes him a little heavy for you. He does like you. Go a little
Yeah.
heavy-handed.
So like, I mean, honestly, if I could find a way to like trigger a firing that wasn't like with cause, because that's what those reviews are about, is like finding some with cause type shit. But if they just like get rid of me and there aren't a ton of write ups behind it, then yeah, I'll be drawing unemployment for a long fucking time and job hunting like the whole time.
And Jeff takes up that kind of the thinker pose, because I mean he's pretty settled in front of you. He's had a kind of a relaxed posture, so he finally leans forward, puts that elbow on the counter, sticks the bearded chin in his hand. How would you go about doing a thing like that?
I think the easiest way for me to do that would be to do like my thing. I mean, like, do it. But to make sure that she is mad at me for like nonsensical fucking reasons. I think to do it, I'd have to start coming in earlier than her. That I can do that. I can do that. But then I gotta start fucking with shit. I gotta start taking her little pieces of flair and tilting them slightly so that she knows they were molested but can't prove it was me. I've gotta fucking I could rearrange the office supplies. Nothing will be missing. But they'll be rearranged and she will hate it. As long as a bunch of little things that, because I'm in early now, she'll know was me but can't prove. She'll eventually lose her shit and fire me.
I mean, if you're sure it'll catch you unemployment, fuck it. I think you should do it.
I'm gonna fucking do it.
You're gonna fucking do it?
I'm gonna fucking do it.
Good. Better fucking do it.
Yeah. These ideas that totally fucking make sense when you're drunk.
There's gotta be a thing you can say. Something that's not disrespectful, but will rub her the wrong way. Put her on edge a little.
That one's better thought of sober. I just come up with a bunch of junk when I'm in the cups.
Hey, I mean, if silly little shit like that, tilting things, moving things around, not taking anything, he kind of shrugs. I mean, if it'll ruffle her skirt a little.
Oh yeah. She is a control freak in the extreme. In fact, I'm pretty sure everything on her desk is at a right angle.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
At first, like I thought it was impossible for it to be like that snow globe, but then I realized the snow globe has a square base, right angle.
oh God.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think she survives?
Spite.
Doesn't sound too far off.
Like I said, I don't know what creates a person like her, but I think she's been like that for a long fucking time.
I don't
And I
know. 5
really,
divorces? Shrugs.
I mean, who knows, man? Like, Fucking. What kills me is the HR thing. The HR thing smells like fuckery to me. She doesn't seem like the kind of person who would ever have like a friend. She also doesn't seem very adept at gathering blackmail.
Maybe it's one of those ex-husbands shrugs.
Yeah, maybe. All right. All right, this has been good, but I gotta turn in. I gotta make sure I do this.
Yeah, gotta get up early. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Gotta get you that finger gun. So classic.
And Bill pays for his drinks and leaves a generous tip because that's how you retain the goodwill of people in the bar industry.
It's true. It's all true.
And heads back home, sets his alarm for earlier, takes some finagling because he has little tips. And he just goes to bed with this fucking plan in his head. Like, yes,
This is the ultimate plan for revengeance.
I am smart. SMRT.
You're so smart. And so, to bed you go, good sir. Only to awake too soon to the sweet, sweet song of that screaming alarm.
It's not an alarm. That's a war horn. Fucking turns it off. He's got purpose today.
Shit.
Doesn't give a flying fuck that the radio's still there. Windows down. Spirits up. He fucking heads in. Parks. Heads in the building. Looks around. Anybody else's fucking car there? Probably the boss's.
Only one.
Bingo.
And the door's
What
unlocked. Making it
is
pretty clear.
fucking Nemo. That's right. I drug that one out.
You did. That was pretty good, though. I'm proud of you.
All right. He goes in, and it's time for step one. Don't clock in yet. Arrange, or rather rearrange, the flare. Never really moving it, but it's time to tilt all that shit at slightly off angles that only one human could possibly notice.
All right. You begin your fine act of sabotage. And it'll take you a couple of minutes because you run around, and I mean it's little bits here and there. So I mean you're walking around, just casually reach out, and it's the tiniest little nudge or poke, a little bit of finagling, just ever so slightly off. You know no one else pays attention to this shit. It's just kind of jarringly bright spots of color in an otherwise kind of beige surrounding. Business beige. It's official. It's a thing. Yeah, you start poking a little bit here, a little there. Start nudging them just off. Just out of alignment. What else will you do?
Step two. The office supplies.
The door opens with an inviting.
You say, "Rah." But what Bill hears is metal.
Oh my god! How bad is it? What you doing?
Oh, the shit in the top drawer, that seems more like bottom drawer material. And the bottom is mid, and the mid is the top. And then we're going to do some lateral movement. We're going to jumble this shit up harder than a Rubik's Cube that you're proud you finished one side of.
I feel like this is the really important question. I know you're moving the materials, the whole grouping, the boxes. and you're shifting what goes where. But here's the real question. Is it still tidy? Or is it just kind of flung in?
It's still tidy.
Okay.
We're going to get the deep
can't take it
mind
too
games
far.
here.
Here's the other question. Do you also move the tiny little label clips? That they're easy enough to like slide around or, pull out and put in on another drawer. It's easy enough to do. But do you?
Yes.
You move tidily and relabel everything.
I am the god of this world.
Oh, God. All right. What are you going to do? Once you have begun your act of, finished your act of sabotage. Is there a step 3?
He closes the door, but it takes multiple tries. And there's clunking. But in Bill's mind, it's just clunk, 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 clunk. Clunk, 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 clunk. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do.
Oh, my God, Bill. All right.
And this is the coup de grace. This is the true call to fucking war. This is the only way she's gonna know it was fucking personal.
Oh, God.
The snow globe.
Oh, no. You dare
Dun, dun, dun,
step foot into her cubicle.
dun, 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 dun.
What do you do?
In a moment of bizarre paranoia, he doesn't want his fingerprints on this. So he pulls up his sleeve a little bit.
Undo your little tiny button cuff.
Goddamn right he does. And he lowers his hand a lot like Ethan Hunt lowering in the first Mission Impossible. Da, 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 da. It's on the snow globe. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo. And the doo-doo. That is when he very slightly, and I'm talking, we're not even going diagonal with this. We're just a little bit. Turns it off kilter. And then raises his hand and fucking redoes the button. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo. And now is the time when he will go and on his little watch set a mini alarm on the watch for slightly earlier than when he would clock in and beginneth his paperwork, but off the clock.
Scandalous. You don't know where the paperwork comes from, but sure enough, there's some in your inbox.
When his pen is moving, we're talking straight up dramatic Death Note strokes.
Oh my God. Visualizing it makes it worse.
Oh, actually one thing, because it's the pants from the night before.
Oh.
One last thing. This occurs to him. Remember that secret potato chip bag?
I know. It crunched in your pocket.
Right in her fucking wastebasket.
Bill, how could you?
Bill Williams, the revenge guy.
Oh my God. I fucking can't with you right now.
So then he goes back. This is satisfying now. Maybe you should have strung it out. Or maybe fortune favors the fucking bold.
Okay. How far ahead of the time that you would normally clock in are you setting this alarm?
Solid 15.
Solid 15?
Solid 15.
So we'll say 5 minutes before that, she arrives. You know it's her. Because who else would arrive 20 minutes early? And who else is heralded by that tick tick tack of heeled shoes?
He doesn't
Where's
know
heels
how
and
she makes
miles?
that fucking noise. The floor's carpeted.
It's ambiance, sir. Don't question it. It's a skill set, okay? Maybe they're bladed. Right through the
Maybe
gut.
they fucking are.
I mean, they might as well be. And so, 20 minutes before anyone is meant to clock in, at 8:40, she arrives. And give me a perception alertness because this is hilarious.
Does Wolf Sight come into play?
It does not. This is sound-based.
Damn it! That's okay. Still, my powerful dice pool. One success.
That's all you need. You hear it. You hear her come through the door, coming down that little entrance area, and then into the great corridored mass of cubicles. And as she strides through that door, you hear the tiniest, most subdued and strangled little gasp of horror. And then slightly more hurried little clicking steps as she hurries to the first piece of flare and just nudges it carefully, lovingly, back in perfect alignment. Breathing a soft little, again, very suppressed, very small little sigh of relief. Oh, crisis averted. But then, more loudly this time, as she glances to the other pieces of flare about the corners, about the cubicles. Oh, her hands come to her mouth in horror as all of them are just ever so slightly off kilter. And so quickly, she clicks through, setting them right, one at a time. And it's not until she goes to bypass her cubicle, or your cubicle, I should say, going for the next one down, not too close to Mr. Burm's door, never too close, but on that end of the aisle. After all, everyone needs to see little bits of cheer, that she realizes that you are present. And you can practically hear that horror movie style creaking and cracking as her head slowly turns. If normal humans could take rage, she'd be at 10. It just slowly turns, looking. And for the first time, she doesn't have that pert little smile, that horrible, tight little mask on. She is shock and awe, surprised, confused, vaguely alarmed.
Oh, how the tables have turned. Because moving maybe a little too slowly, almost like a cat getting its predatory memory of being a bigger cat and making butt wiggles. Bill just kind of rights his posture. And it's like he just noticed her. So, smile. Good morning, ma'am.
And she's taken aback. For the first time, you see doubt on that horrifically rigid little face. The wrinkles are showing. And she stumbles for a second, verbally, before finally saying, "Oh, yes, good morning. Oh my, you're early.
Yes, I am.
How nice."
I think so.
And like a woman dancing through a nightmare, she slowly tears her eyes away from you and drifts towards that next, ever so slightly off-kilter piece of flair. She can't just leave it like that. Think of the children!
You remember when Light Yagami laughed when he realized he'd beaten L? That's in Bill's mind now.
You're quoting like one of the only shows we have in common, and it's killing me. Oh, God. I just almost listlessly, so out of place, so confused. She wanders back past your cubicle once more, back towards her own, her safe place, her sanctuary. As you know, there's finally you're hearing cars kind of roll in, but you know those fuckers are going to stay in their cars right up till like a minute or two before they need to be here, maybe 5 max. Nobody wants to be in here any longer than they have to be. But she drifts finally into her cubicle, the safe place. It's just always so perfect. Let's see. Oh, let's roll her. Probably a reasonable pull for this. Because she's the devil. Oh my god, she botches. There is just this horrible... Instead of her suppressing her reaction, there's just this horrible, soul-racking little noise. Just as she just cries out in horror. Because even NPCs can botch.
I mean, she straight up screams.
I mean, practically, it's the closest thing to a scream you've ever heard in this building. I mean...
Okay, that's fine. Internally. But instead, it's time to do something fun. It's time to take this bag of salt and pour it into the wound. So Bill, he understands he's got a time limit before he has to clock in. He knows. Will come up with just a concerned expression, be like, "Is everything all right, ma'am?"
And you walk up and you see her there, stricken, a hand over her mouth, as her eyes flit between the waste bin and her precious, precious snow globe. From that one time she went to Niagara Falls. It was enchanting. And Bill, yes, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Why don't you run along and clock in? Be a dear. You could hear that tiny tremor in her voice. She is shook.
And all she gets is, okay. And off he goes. Just, gonna clock in now.
And as you go to clock in, just so merrily, man, you have time. You even got to make the coffee this morning. You got to make it the way you like it.
Good.
And so as you go and you grab your coffee and you clock in, you will finally, at the far end of the row of cubicles, you will hear the telltale closing of the office door. Da-na-na! You can imagine in your head that there, in the safety of the office, where no employees can see her shaken demeanor. She's probably hyperventilating into a paper bag. You don't know, but that's the funniest thing you can think of, really.
Yes.
And so, you and your victory coffee are able to return smugly, precisely on time, to your desk. Others have wandered in, most have been waiting to clock in until precisely the right moment, because dear Lord, if you thought being late was bad, getting a lecture from our beloved Ms. Patrickson about stealing time and stealing money from the company by clocking in before your due time is, oh god, it makes you want to just rip all the bones out of your body. But you meander back to your cubicle, feeling this victory, knowing in your chest that you have done well, and everyone else filters through, even your buddy James. James perhaps senses that something is awry, looks a little cagey, looks a little nervous. But he does, in fact, as many others do, does not question shit. He just clocks in and he goes to his cubicle, because that's what you do. Even with Big Brother, or in this case, Big Sister, not watching in this moment, it's what you do.
Truly, they are all trapped in Jeremy Bentham's fucking panopticon.
Truly. So what follows over the course of your day is a barrage of paperwork. Very carefully timed out, very, never too much at once. But you get the sneaking suspicion that at this point, dear Edna is even giving you some of her own paperwork, like is literally shuffling the rhyme, the reason, the order of this workplace in an attempt to load you down and break your spirit, as she herself has had hers shattered.
That's fine. But she seems kind of off kilter when she gave me her paperwork that she is supposed to be doing. Did she make the dread fucking mistake of signing it?
Ooh, let's see. High or low, Bob?
Hi.
All right. That is, I don't like 5 and 6. Let's
Thanks, 5.
That's some bullshit. Ooh! She did. One of them has her signature at the bottom.
I am Kira. That one will have the errors.
Ooh!
And no one to prove that anybody other than her did it.
This is war. Let's see how she does later in the day. When she does swing by the supply cabinet, because after all, she does check on it every once in a while. Has to make sure that everything's perfect. This time she aces it. There's not a squeak. There's not a tremor. But you hear that telltale screech of it opening. And it's not that there's a noise. In fact, it's almost like she's holding her breath. There's nothing. You gonna sneak a peek out?
No.
Or are you going to? Oh, playing it cool. All right. Yeah, the door opens and there's a pause. There's no rifling. There's no movement. Just this magical, heartwarming pause as she looks upon the horror that has been wrought before her. This controlled chaos that she can't even begin to understand how to set right. That's not where the pens go. That's not where the clipboards go. Oh god, even the staples have been moved. And then after a pause, there's just that one solid chunk, because she is the only fucker who can get that thing to close right on the first try. And just the slow, broken clickety-clacks of her heels heading back to her cubicle. It's the most epic office story I've ever perceived in my life. So how are you going to round out your day, buddy?
Well, you always need a good follow through. He does his paperwork, does it well, doesn't go to lunch. See, this way he can double check his work. And, add some more perfect imperfections on Edna's shit. Then it's filed. He knows more's coming. She's been timing it out. She might be off balance, but a cornered animal's a dangerous one. And here's the follow through. See, he knows that she's been spending the whole fucking day writing everything. He also knows her classic move of adding shit when people are gone. So he is going to... Is he impeded at the end of his day?
He's not.
Cool. He'll clock. He'll go around back to the smoke place like nobody uses. He'll have himself a cigarette because he's just made of bad habits. And it'll be 2 cigarettes. Let's take a 20 here. Then he'll come back and do the shit that she has dropped on his desk.
Oh, it's not subtle this time.
That's fine. It's a good setup.
Yeah, there's a healthy little pile of papers there. Left in his inbox, almost as though they were forgotten or somehow undone.
That's cool. He'll do them. Because this eats up time. Once they're all done, he will go and he will check to see if she's still there.
Give me... Are you going to move out to initially check, or are you just going to first, pitch an ear, or are you going to try to be subtle about going back to your cubicle after you have clocked out and theoretically left?
Yeah.
All right, you want to stealth in there?
Yeah.
Do it. Let's see if she even knows you're there.
I fail, so she does.
I mean, she might botch. I'll give her a roll just to check. I mean, she fails too.
Dual failure.
This is a fail apocalypse. So while you are not the sneaky fucker you think you are, she is just so overwrought by the horrifying events of the day, fanning herself, that it's very possible she didn't notice. She didn't say anything when you came in. So let's see. Give me an alertness. See if you can hear her still around the office.
3.
Fabulous. That is 3 successes. There is no telltale clickety-clack. There is no gasp before. There's not even the soft shuffling sound of her fixing that supply cabinet.
That's cool.
So sound-wise, it seems clear.
But you can only be sure of things when you're in front of the elephant. Not to her spot, but is her car there?
I'm going to take a little sneaky peek out into the parking lot.
Yes, I am.
She's gone.
Cool. That's good. So, he's going to go back, and this time, with feeling, he is going to not rearrange everything. Instead, a quarter of the flare will be set off kilter and not in one cluster. Spread out.
Just a couple of pieces.
Here and there.
Oh.
Everything else will be left alone.
Do you look in the supply cabinet?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's take a look.
Apparently, this is what she was doing during your 20-minute break. post clock out. She stayed and very painstakingly put everything right back where it started, labels and all.
That's fine. Let her think she has control. Shuts it.
Clank, clank, clank. It shuts.
Okay. Now it's time to leave. The first burst of activity was a little self-serving, but now we're going to play the long game.
All right. You walk out. Alas, your radio is still present, ever present.
Bill looks at the radio, realizing that in a way it's his guide to success, because by the end of this, she should be as broken as it is. And drives home. Well, actually, he drives by like fucking liquor store to pick up a 6-pack.
Goodness.
No bar this time. Bar consumes too much energy.
Outrageous.
Sacrifices must be made.
Is he gonna eat anything?
Oh, yeah, like a burger.
Okay. Fabulous. You have a burger. You have a 6-pack. All is right. Everything's coming up, Bill.
And now it's time to sleep. And arrive early again.
Na na na. And so again, with a plan, a master plan, you rouse early. You prepare yourself for work. Step outside. Don't worry. Your buddy, the busted up radio, is still here to guide you.
I'm gonna fucking buy that thing as a mentor.
Why are you like this?
And he'll go there early. Now here's the game plan. He's not going to make any secrets about him being there early. He figures that she's trying to rechange because she saw him there early. So now she's going to start playing the early game. But she also can't stay in the office forever, and that's when he'll do his work. For now, she just needs to know he's there.
All right, so how early are you arriving today?
Was that like a half hour early last time?
I want to say yes, because you did all that and then set a timer for like 15 minutes before clock in. So, yeah, I'll say you came in like a half hour early first time.
It's like 40 minutes. I'm going to keep it in the loose, non-hour ballpark.
All right. Well, in that case, there's again only one car in that parking lot. You begin to wonder if that car ever moves. After all, he has his own spot. And it's always there when you arrive, and it's always there when you leave.
Yes,
Perhaps
sure.
secretly, he lives in the building.
Maybe, fuck. He hasn't been to other parts of the building.
Anyone's guess, really.
He thinks about it. He has the time pre-clock in to think. And I mean, honestly, like, the paperwork isn't that mentally draining, but sometimes he wonders if, like, he's some kind of, like, Frankenstein or a Dracula.
Or a Dracula.
But he has a window in his office. He'd be obliterated instantly if he was like a Dracula.
Yeah,
Maybe he
probably.
like works for a Dracula. Maybe he's like the guy who's like, "Master, I served you well," and it's like giving him a natural stamina or some shit. He doesn't know.
Never stop. All right. So you arrive. You arrive before her. What all are you doing as you sit and think? Are you just chilling in your cubicle?
Nope, there's probably a big steaming turd of paperwork.
I mean, it's not any more than your usual stuff. You begin to wonder if, I mean, maybe the actual boss divvies out the initial flood of paperwork, because there it is. I mean, the usual size pile, really.
Maybe he does. Maybe that's why he's here so early every day. Maybe that's why he's here so late every night. A lot like Bill's starting to be.
Da-na-na.
What if Bill's just repeating history? Nope, can't think about that right now. Too focused on revenge. All right. Bill knows that this continued fucking back and forth is going to happen, so he's got to start cracking now. He's got his mini alarm set, so he'll be good for time in. But before time in, instead of stealing money to from the company, he's giving time to the company. He is laying this bonfire of humanity on the altar of his revengeance.
I can't. Oh God. All right. Oh. So you're hitting that paperwork early? Is that what I hear?
Pen swooshes and fucking everything.
Crazy, wild pen flourishes and all. Pretty nice pen. But yes. So you lay into that paperwork early. How focused and dedicated you gonna be?
Pretty fucking focused and dedicated. That's a crucial part of this.
All right. So you're going to town, swooshing, dramatically, slash cuts. It's pretty wild. And I guess give me that sweet, sweet hearing-based alertness once more.
You can't dodge my wolf sight forever.
Well, no, but in this case, you're closed up in a cubicle. You can't
Or
see anything unless it walks by your door. Jesus Christ. It's like you can sense her coming. It really is like she's Satan, just, it's before you even clearly realize you're hearing it. It's like every hair on your body stands up, like, da-na-na! Like,
it's the ominous Latin chanting.
It really is. That must be it. God damn it. And so you get that funny feeling and you snap a glance up at the wall of your cubicle as the clicking arrives. Only 10 minutes after you.
Knew it. But he has to keep this shit going. So, good morning, ma'am.
Are you gonna like pop up, boink, like a fucking meerkat?
No, because he sensed her coming, he has the opportunity to ambush her with this.
Oh God, where are you ambushing her?
That dum dum, dum dum, dum dum. Taking the breath, line up the shot. She's about to be past the opening of your cubicle, and that's when. Good morning, ma'am.
Jesus Christ, what did I roll last time for this? On her fabulous botch. Okay. Let's see how visibly shook she is. Today she is not quite so bad, but you may perk empathy her if you like.
See how much I have for that. It's another powerful dice pool.
So powerful!
Whoever thought I could... Three.
It's subtle. It's subtle, but you have the satisfaction of catching that brief kind of startled motion as she turns about. Any observer might think that she played it super smooth. But you catch it. You caught her off guard again. She's startled. And she kind of snaps a glance around. Good morning, Bill.
Smiles.
Ba-na-na.
The duel of creepy smiles.
The duel of creepy smiles.
I can hear that fucking fight song from the Phantom Menace playing right now.
Why are you like this? There is that solid, 3-second hot, just solid, ice cold stare as both of you creepy smile each other.
Oh yeah, this is two predators sizing each other up. She didn't realize that inside of a normally meek Bill, she had awakened. The eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of a rival.
I can't. No, she clearly did not. So you get this brief stare, and finally, blooming into the most horrifyingly false, proper smile you've ever seen. Early again, I see.
Absolutely, ma'am. Punctuality is important.
It is. It absolutely is. Well, it's good to see you turning over a new leaf, Bill.
Oh, I couldn't have done it without you.
You, as she gives you that perfect little nod and turns to click away to correct that piece of flare over there, it's off center again. You can hear her teeth grinding.
He doesn't actually laugh like that. Jesus Christ.
And so stiffly, she goes about correcting things. And you hear, again, before even clock in time, she goes around, she checks, and finally, steeling herself, she approaches that front of the aisle again, right next to her cubicle, and you hear the screech as she checks the supply closet. But all is in order. Everything's fine now. Everything's fine. And so, calming herself just a little, just a touch, she kind of pulls in the breath, that deep, calming breath, and steps into her cubicle as the coffee is brewing. As let's see, it was a good bit before clock in. What does Edna do with her time? Oh, I know. You'll hear like the rustling of papers and whatnot. But yes. Yes, she at least briefly disappears into her cubicle. The safety of her currently unmolested cubicle. Would you like to do anything, Bill?
No. Today she will have an illusion of control before we take it from her. I mean, other than clock in on time, like.
In the name of expediency, is there anything else you would like to do today besides fight that careful wall of paperwork that she keeps putting in front of you?
Every time she's dumb enough to put her signature on one of her things and then hand it blank to him is a day she's going to regret.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see. Let's see how bad she fucks up. High or low, buddy?
Hi.
Oh! Oh, yeah. She is so incensed today when she failed to beat you here. She's clearly just not thinking clearly. She's not paying attention. When she hands you a pile of her paperwork, it's all stamped with her name.
Let's create a disaster together. Let's piss off some clients. Let's make sure that the wrong company gets the wrong paper for their appliance.
This war of attrition rages on. So here's the real question. Anything else you're going to do today, or is it the same cycle of, snag some food and some drinks, go home, come back?
No, because now we get to play the other side of this tennis match.
Okay. What you doing, buddy?
Well, He knows the same thing she does. She thinks she's wearing him down. Really, she's just helping him pace himself because he's going the distance. He's going for speed, and he wants to make sure that he stays late enough that he's all alone in her time of need.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, you have the patience and you're studious enough to check the parking lot. You can do so. Just linger around until she's gone for the day. She actually doesn't stay late because she has no idea that you were late yesterday.
Excellent. Now we begin to make sure that she thinks she's losing her fucking mind. We'll leave the flare alone today. We'll only rearrange one item with one other item in the supply closet, labeled.
Very well, sir. This psychological warfare is too much for me.
This is spite. Also, it makes him look good in front of the boss that he's like there before everybody and later and everybody just like him.
What's beautiful is that you swap like the few extra staplers with the staples. So it's so subtle. So perfect.
A stroke of beauty, really.
It is. It is. And so you away. After this beautiful, beautiful, subtle little dig. So what are you going to do on this? The day of your shenaniganery.
Dinner is some dinner beers. He's got to keep his eye on the prize.
Dinner beers?
Dinner beers. No light this time. He's going for the full calories. He's going to need them.
I assume he is again eating.
Yes. He
Beautiful.
actually eats at night like a person who needs food to survive.
Okay, I gotta check, man. All right. You get the dinner beers, your burger, and you lay your precious head down to sleep. And
early to bed, early to rise.
How
makes
early?
Bill healthy, but not wealthy. And avenged.
How early you gonna hit work today, buddy?
Let's pace her out. She came in 30. He came in 40. Now he has to get theatrical. He's going 50.
Going 50, huh?
Going 50.
Let's see. How... I mean, she's pretty incensed, so... Let's see whether she jogs it by 15 or 30. Oh, she goes the whole 30. So, you rouse your dearest friend. The fuck-busted radio is there to greet you, as you know that victory is upon you.
Godspeed, broken radio.
And you drive to work well before the traffic has begun. You make record time, really. But still, as you pull into the parking lot, you see not one car, but two.
Just as Bill planned. That's okay. Because now, see, before it was kind of touch and go. Before he was ahead of her, she was chasing him. What runs? Prey. What gets chased? What does the chasing? Predators. That's right. The tables are turning even more. Now she's in his fucking sights.
Da-na-na. So what you gonna do?
Well, because we've abandoned morning shenanigans for deep stealth night missions. He's going to do what he's been doing in the mornings ever since that first Heavenly Alpha strike. And, like, do his job, but not clocked in yet. Mini alarm, ready to go. He sets that shit ahead of time these days.
All right. So you stride in. Let yourself on in. Oh my, look. She went and started the coffee and everything.
What a dear.
What a dear.
For me to feast upon.
Oh, goodness. And so, you arrive. And you walk in. There's coffee. What a nice, relaxed morning. You're not even on the clock. There's no pressure. But still, with great flourishes, you begin to attack the now maybe half again as tall pile of paperwork in your inbox when you arrive.
Just as Bill planned.
And here is the real interesting part. Your alarm hasn't gone off yet. And she hasn't gone past your cubicle. And yet, da-na-na, you hear the office door crack open.
Interesting. Most interesting.
And coming down the aisle, in surprisingly professional shoes. He actually dresses the part, even if nobody ever sees him. But he stalks past, like a predator in the tall grass, down the aisle, seeming not to notice you present. But he still just strides past, slinks almost, to her cubicle. And pausing there, you hear only those horrifying words. Rarely are they spoken, and never, I mean, except for promotions, but not in this tone, does good come of it, as he says, "My office, now." And just turns, stalks back.
Internally.
And so, sure enough, there is a light sputter of surprise. But primly she gets up, and while he is certainly given a lead, she clips past. And oh my, in this moment, this heavy, this very tense moment, she can't even tear her eyes aside to shoot you a glare, to give you a look, to plead for mercy. No, she keeps her head forward, eyes forward, and clicks along after him like a woman at the gallows, heading for that office. And soon enough, the door will close. What do you do?
She knows he's here. But she did just get brought into the office. With the Doom voice and everything. Patience, young Bill. She's survived several attempts like this before. She won't get taken down now. She knows you're here. She knows you're the one who's doing it, but she can't have a basis for accusation quite yet. Patience. Do your paperwork. Wait for your mini alarm. Enjoy your coffee while you do your paperwork. Wait for your mini alarm. Clock in at the right time. Act like nothing's wrong. Because eventually the sun will fall, and it is that time you will do your dark work.
So you commit no atrocities while both members of management are out of sight. Neither do you eavesdrop. But soon enough, or actually surprisingly not as soon as you might have thought. And my goodness, do an alertness for me. Again, hearing based, I'm sorry, this is just the situation you're in. You might have your mic muted.
Just you.
All right, that is still enough. Doesn't take much. You do briefly hear a feminine voice. What? Feminine voice, shrilly raised in distress and denial.
Distress, you say?
Oh, yes.
What a common lay person could interpret as distress.
Indeed.
Let's go see what we've wrought. He'll trot up, quicken pace, faster than office walk, concerned office walk.
And the door is closed, and it's not like alarm for her life, but she is distraught.
Oh, I thought she was at her workstation.
Oh no, they're in the office. The door
Back
shut.
off, Bill. Back off, Bill. This isn't the time. Back off, Bill. Retreat!
You think about it, but no. No. This is no time to sabotage all your fine work. You back away from that office door, that cloying temptation to listen, however, finally cast aside. But oh my, yes, she is certainly distressed and very loudly denying what you could swear were perhaps allegations? And you return swiftly, like a ninja, so subtly to your cubicle. And you are settled, and again, just dutifully doing your paperwork. As the door flicks open, and she storms from the office, carefully, well, after, of course, very carefully shutting it behind her, but storms the most, like this is a battle tattoo as her heels clickety-clack, somehow, inexplicably on the carpet. It's very thin carpet.
Yeah, maybe it's actually just how the shoes are.
I mean, it's also like, if you ever, like, I don't know, been to, I guess, like at schools where, like, it's a cement floor and they roll this stupid thin
Oh yeah,
carpet over it.
It's practically tissue paper.
Yeah, so, I mean, she manages to click on it.
All right.
She's a talented woman. There's no padding on that shit. That would be comfortable. And this is cheap. But you hear that battle tattoo as she storms down the aisle. And lo and behold, pauses at the entrance to your cubicle.
Here we go. It's showtime. You ready?
I'm so ready.
Good morning, ma'am.
And as you turn with your cheery good morning, her face, it is not in that perfect little smirk. There is no vicious smile. It is almost distorted into what might even be the beginnings of a snarl. And as you twist about, a finger is raised, perfectly manicured, and pointed in your direction. As she almost hisses, I know it was you.
Whatever are you talking about, ma'am?
Trying to get me fired.
I would never.
Oh, but I've dealt with worse than you. I know what you did. Another little point.
Is the office door open?
It's not.
Okay. We'll keep this conversation tone for now. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't you worry, Mr. Williamson. Don't you worry. And she finally, just very stiffly, turns to continue towards her cubicle. She's on the warpath.
She's off balance.
Very much so.
Perfect. Time to continue. We must make sure that our balance is perfect. Striking is for later.
All right, what you gonna do, buddy?
I don't think she's going to be dumb enough to put her paperwork on me just yet. But if she is...
Oh, no. No, not today. Not today. Not a single sheet of her paperwork. One might surmise that this is, in fact, the source of the problem.
That's fine. He has to wait. He must wait.
All right. You go through your clock in, your work day, and oh, look at that. You can even take your lunch unmolested today.
No, that's for double checking. We must retain our balance. These are the important moments.
All right.
She's cornered now. She's at her most dangerous.
Oh, she is. Let's see. Let us see what bullshit she will try to pull. I know what she will do. Very well. All right, you go through your day. You'll catch her a couple times. The few times that she walks past, you always get spared that fucking like slit-eyed look. Her composure is failing. Oh God. What will you do?
I am a happy little drone. It's not time yet. So,
All right.
things are going to get to the true battle. And that is the battle of darkness. How late's she going to stay?
I don't know. Let's see. She came out on top this morning. She did get there before you, but then horror of horrors was given some disciplinary action for her shoddy paperwork. So, she'll linger. Excuse me, lingers briefly. Almost worriedly. It doesn't seem to be calculated per se. Like, but she does leave maybe 15 minutes later than usual. But nothing really significant. And again, if you're checking for the car as your telltale, you will know when she's gone.
Okay, time for the coup de grace.
All right.
No flare. No supply desk. This time we're going straight for her cubicle. Everything is going to be slightly off angle. everything.
All right. You do your dirty, dirty deed. Setting her cubicle all manner of awry. But then what will you do, sir?
Stretch his neck a bit. Make sure he's got absolutely nothing left in his desk in terms of work that actually had to be done at this point.
Oh, no, it seems like the paperwork angle isn't what she's going for this time. There's nothing extra added in. Nothing missed.
Interesting. All right. He'll head out.
Where shall you go, sir? The great, inspiring city of Roanoke is your oyster.
Huh. He needs to think. He's gonna get 4 burgers this time.
Goodness.
And the 6-pack. He's gonna sit on a lawn chair outside his house while he smokes a few cigarettes and eats.
All right. Your trusty busted ass radio is there for you.
Playing 0 music.
Absolutely zero. Let us see.
So he just sits there like wondering to himself, like, how does she keep that good of a hold on HR? That normally would have been a firing, but she survived it. I knew she would, but how?
But how?
This isn't normal. I keep control of my paperwork. She wouldn't dare forge my signature. She doesn't have a fucking hand for it anyway. Should have gotten a hold of hers when I had the chance, but got too ahead of myself. That would have been fucking fun. That's okay. I'll see what her counter is. And I'll meet it. So at this point, one would wonder how consumed with this petty horseshit Bill has become. He is literally sitting on his porch plotting. He is one white cat away.
Sorry, give me one moment.
That's absolutely fine. Bill actually thinks about that. Maybe he could get a cat. You know, They mostly take care of themselves, occasional hairball. Do you have to handle their cat box and veterinary visits and things like that, but they can provide good companionship. Some of them are quite friendly. You could get a white cat. What types of cats were white? You never really looked into it, right? His brother had a dog, so maybe it would be good. You know, he's the opposite of his brother, so could get the opposite type of animal per se. The cat to his dog. And to fit the lifestyle. You wouldn't go to the bar as much. You want to take care of the little guy, make sure that regardless of the cat's temperament, at least it knew he was there, but it'd be some companionship. I mean, hell, Jeff couldn't be there for him like every day, but the cat would be there, right? Cute cat. Be great. Then there was the pet hair issue, but it's not like, I mean, this is his place. He made the down payment. He's paying a mortgage. Doesn't have to worry about that, right? You just get one of those deep cleaning vacuums for the carpet. Deep cleaning. Cleaning it deep with the deep cleaning vacuum.
Vacuum indeed. Thank you. And after all, white fur would only show up on all your black clothes. It's fine.
Get a lint roller.
Clever man. So how long will you be staying out front? Sitting on this lawn chair?
Long enough to eat 3.5 burgers, but he'll come in with like the last, like, he picked up the 6-pack, which is conveniently a holder for the dead beers as well.
It is.
And yeah, it's time to turn in. Got to get up early to continue this psychotic war of attrition.
All right. Well, you go in with your dead beers and your half a burger. Give me a first alertness. Actually, give me an alertness as you're on your way in, and your merit will count.
Yay!
Because we're talking evening. We're talking when it's getting dark.
Botch!
Is it a botch with the merit?
Merit only gives you like an extra die.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah,
Too
that's
much
around.
burger.
This is a really good burger. I should go inside. Like, yeah, you go do your shit.
Yeah.
But once you are inside, you will get after you've gone in, you've finished your burger, you've plopped your beer bottles wherever the hell you plop your beer bottles. I don't know how fastidiously Bill recycles.
He's big into recycling. That's the best part, really, is they're all in the holder, and since it's cardboard and glass, just gets to drop it all in there.
It's pretty handy.
Yeah.
So as you are finished your burger, dropping that thing in the recycling, give me a sound-based alertness check.
Oop.
There we go. And I'll say initially there's kind of noise am I looking for? We'll say maybe a voice raised in annoyance out front. It's masculine, but yeah, there's someone hanging it. I mean, it sounds practically like it's in your front yard almost.
The fuck? And he does that thing that people do when they're being weird at home alone and weird stuff is happening. Where it's like, there's that baseball bat. I don't play baseball, but I have this bat because, yeah, I'll totally fend off and all comers.
The one you keep behind the front door, so if people walk in, they won't see it because the door will be open and it'll hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has the bat, and it's just kind of in his hand. Like there's a part of him that knows he's not going to fucking swing this thing at anybody. And he also has the burger. So with his pinky off the burger holding hand, that's how he drops the one blind, so he can like peer out.
Good sir, there are unsavory type people gathered about your poor, unprotected, windows opened car.
Oh, fucking finally.
Here's the problem, good sir. They are not just reaching in. Oh no. Is that a cinder block one of them has?
What the fuck?
Oh yeah. They are perhaps it's because you have the lights out? Whatever the case, they are moving much like a well-oiled machine. You see like one dude kind of gesturing to the others?
Oh. Yeah, no, Bill, just call the cops.
All right. Yeah. You just call the fucking cops like a normal person would do. So you call the cops. And they I mean, naturally, it takes a minute. They're trying to do something to your car, but the cops respond pretty quickly. It's not a very big town. I mean, it's the biggest city in the Blue Ridge Mountains, but it's still like it's not that big. Um, sure enough, lights and sirens come down the street, mostly just to scare him off, successfully. Um, and of course, the cop will come by and kind of knock on the door.
Bill will answer it without the bat.
Good man. And yeah, it's the generic like, would you like to file an incident report?
Of course he
And
will.
yes, paperwork, your favorite.
He's good at this.
He is. He is. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, fuck it. So you file your incident report. It's paperwork. This is so you get through that, and the guy tells you to give a call if they come back around, but he figures they'll be out of this area for the night. He'll roll around the block a couple times, and yeah, kind of tip of the hat, fucks off. Bill is left with his car still inexplicably intact, radio and all.
He takes the please steal me sign off of it. The radio's earned it.
You remove the please steal me sign. And yeah, but you come out to get a look at your car, and it looks like they were trying to put it up on cinder blocks, but hadn't quite gotten that far. Um, but all in all, it looks like your car is still in one piece. I mean, to be fair, the tires are probably the most valuable part of your vehicle at this point. So, surprise.
He's satisfied. Goes back in.
You go back in.
All right. Pet cat I will own one day. Time for bed.
And so, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this the really ridiculous way because it's funnier. So what is going to happen? You go. You're preparing for bed. Get into your sweats, whatever the hell you sleep in. And there is, of all the fucking shit, the weirdest thing happens. Your doorbell rings.
Are you fucking... Yeah, this can't be good. Baseball bat. He still has the burger for some weird fucking reason. Like, he has no idea why he picked it back up. But he opens the door.
And there, rendered somehow more menacing by the glow of the street lamps, is this tiny woman who has access to your file. And almost immediately, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to give you a chance to roll a dodge, like as a reflex.
Yeah.
See if you can lessen the effect here.
All of Bill's imaginary training pays off.
Oh, hot damn. So the second you open the door, again, just that hideous little snarl of like, essentially, yeah, the hand whips up, and thankfully you kind of duck back and even like partially swing the door shut as a cloud of no shit. Like she tried to mace you in your own fucking doorway. And she's just squealing, "You can't get me fired!"
You fucking serious? Did you just try to pocket sand me?
And she starts fumbling frantically for her purse. And of all things, will produce a small handgun. Do you know what I've done to keep this job?
I'm starting to get an idea.
I mean, she's whipping this thing around on you. No trigger discipline, Bob. No trigger discipline.
Did you actually get fired?
And mascara is running down her cheeks. And she just screams back, "You can't do this to me," and tries to take a shot at you. Hilariously, she probably doesn't have a firearm score. So, this is going to end hilariously.
Oh no, I know how this is going to go if it botches. This is going to be great.
Oh no, and she's like she's an older woman. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my god, yeah. She gets a success.
She fucking tags me, man.
She will. Oh god, what's standard small handgun is what, 4?
Small, yeah, like 4.
I want to say, yeah, for a large handgun it's 6, and for a small one it's 4, I think. Maybe.
I know small is definitely 4.
Okay, that's what I needed. I know the larger one is 6. But this is a fairly small little handgun. Fits tidily in her purse, thank you. And she's gonna... Oh, Jesus! Here's the beautiful thing. I'm gonna have you roll soak, but I'm still going to have you take rage and roll it.
Wow, he actually soaks most of it.
Yeah, I mean, she tags you. You feel like it should have been worse than it is. It doesn't hurt as much as you imagined getting shot would hurt. It still hurts, though, and there's the shock of the fact that this psychotic little woman just fired a gun at you. So you're going to take a rage as you, quote, enter combat. You're going to take a rage for taking damage, and you're going to roll them. Beautiful!
Oh.
Beautiful. So this tiny, psychotic, unhinged little woman pulls out a gun and wings you, at best.
Hit me in the ear.
The fucking ear? And, as luck would have it, you, suddenly, like, you're struck with the pain. And you were already kind of shocked that, because this is outrageous. This is like some fucking badly written movie shit. But then you're pissed because she fucking shot you. This bitch looked up your information, came to your house, and shot at you. And, you know, it's just, before you know it, you're kind of hyped up. You start seeing red, and you explode into a towering ball of fur and rage and teeth and claws. Fuck that baseball bat.
And fuck that burger.
And fuck that burger.
The way I imagine this going
Yeah,
down
feel free to narrate it. She's
is that like he got knocked back a little bit by the shot and then grew. And the last thing anyone could possibly see is a giant furry arm reach out and pull her in, and then just off camera, you can only see the open doorway, but you can hear the screaming and the tearing.
all right, buddy. So hilariously, it will not be long later at all before, at least for narrative's sake, the subject of your frenzy is fucked. She's sprayed all over the walls, in fact. And you will kind of come back to yourself. And just for the sake of the running trend of how we're doing this, it's not so much that you're going to shrink first. You're going to start kind of coming back to yourself as you kind of putter out of not even so much juice as conviction. And you get to have a series of realizations. Among them, things like, that bitch shot me. My, there's an awful lot of blood on the walls. I'm pretty sure that's a corpse. What is wrong with my fucking hands?
Uh, oh no. Oh no.
And we will say for narrative's sake that especially as the rage is completely dissipated by this series of emotions, you will reflexively, if not consciously, begin the reversion to Hamid.
Oh, she's. Oh, oh no, there's no. She's the. She's there, and I'm naked. She's there, I'm naked. She's there, I'm naked. He thinks to shut the door because he's naked.
Good move, buddy.
Oh god, oh god. Oh no, no, no. Oh Jesus. Oh, this escalated quickly. Oh man. I don't. No, no, you're just tripping out. You're just hallucinating. You obviously killed her some other way. Oh God, you killed her. You did this. You murdered her. You murdered her, and she's dead in here. But it was self-defense because she shot you. Yeah, but who's gonna self-defense? This is the self-defense. There are defenestrations that were more defensive than that. Ooh man. Ooh Nelly. Ooh. Ooh. I need scissors. Oh boy. I am naked. I am naked. I don't lie. Naked. Naked. And he like panically puts on his backup sleep clothes. And for some weird, like this numb reason, he goes back to the safety blanket of the burger and the fucking bat.
Yes, the bat at the very least has been sprayed with blood as well from where you dropped it right by the door.
This is probably the murder weapon. I gotta get rid of it. I gotta get rid of the murder weapon. This is the murder weapon. I am covering up a murder I committed. Oh, I should have gone to graduate school. Oh, I should have gone to graduate school and just stayed in college and hid from my student loans like a sane person. And instead, I was like, I gotta get a job because my dad just gave me that face. And he was like, you need to go out and get a job. You can't be in college forever. Which is funny because fucking Calvin went to law school and that was like 3 extra years. What were you just blind and deaf, Dad? I'm getting sidetracked. I'm getting sidetracked. I am on a track that's on the side of this murder. Oh, murder weapon. Gotta go. Should remember my keys though. And he puts his keys, he shoves them in the sweatpants pocket. I'm not wearing shoes. Shoes. Where are my original shoes? The shoes I was wearing. Oh God, I'm gonna have to wear those shoes I bought on accident. It's okay. It's okay. Think about your feet. Think about your feet. You don't want cut up feet because the police will question it for some fucking reason. It happens in those procedural shows all the time. And fucking he puts on the only other pair of tennis shoes he has. Hot pink. He bought them when he was drunk. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'll run down the road a ways and I'll cut into the woods and I'll bury the bat. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll bury the bat and then I'll come back because this is a closed environment. This is closed. Okay, it's closed, and I'll deal with the body. What was that shit they did in Breaking Bad? Oh no, wait, that didn't work because of the bathtub. I'll get a bin. I'll get the bin with the thing on the bottom, and it'll be the bat. Gotta get rid of the bat. And he fucking runs out, and he remembers to shut the door and lock his house, and begins running pell-mell down the road with the bat in one hand and the burger in the other.
And as you're running, we have this revisit to that beautiful shot at the opening of this scene, of this frantic flight with a burger in one hand, a bloodied bat in the other, hot pink running shoes, some sweatpants, a stained up tank top, and this man as he is fleeing just over this little hill on his street, you know, kind of making that dramatic little jumpy motion where the freeze frame happened. But this time, we continue on, and as his feet hit the pavement once more, he hears the sound he least wants to hear. Are those sirens? Those are sirens. Those are totally sirens. Oh my god, those are sirens.
Okay. Think, Bill. You're next to a road, which is what transports police cars. This is like internal at this point. He's not saying this out loud.
As he is running frantically, pumping his little arms.
Okay. There's the trees. There's the trees because you live like 2 centimeters away from the city proper, and that means that there's trees. We're gonna cut into the trees. Cut into the trees, Bill.
You cut into the trees.
Oh boy. How is the bar such a short distance from your home? You'd think they get less business being out in the boonies, but it seems to be more attractive. But then again, you drink all the time. I don't know. Why am I I'm just sidetracking myself to keep myself level, right? Keep myself level. I'm thinking with my brain. I'm thinking with my brain, and I'm running with my feet. I'm thinking with my brain. I am on a fucking... No. Get it together, Bill. He slaps himself in the face with the burger.
And as he slaps himself in the face with a half-eaten burger, perhaps only now realizing that there is in fact a half-eaten burger in his hand. I mean, he kind of smeared ketchup and mustard across his face. But you realize that you've been pumping them legs. You've been pumping them good. And I mean, you're kind of out away from town. And you did hit trees, and the goal was trees. You've been running towards trees, and now you're pretty sure this is like a trail of some sort. You don't fucking know, but you're out in the woods.
I gotta go deeper in to get rid of the bat. He comfort eats the burger.
You comfort eat the half a burger.
It's half a burger in his stomach now. This will be more fuel for all of the unplanned fucking exercise that's going on.
Okay. You're fueled up for this travesty that's taking place in real time. What you gonna do, buddy?
We gotta go further up the trail.
You're running. You're pumping them little legs for fun.
Fuck.
Give me a...
Fuck me. I should have brought my phone.
you definitely
for the
did
flashlight app.
Phone.
At least I remember my fucking keys and to lock the door.
All right, buddy. Give me a stam athletics to see how far you can run before you start kind of puttering out of steam. Oh, God. You're going. Man, you are fucking going. You are fueled by pure adrenaline coursing through your veins.
Pants-shitting terror.
All right. I mean, you are surrounded by mountains, and you decided to go up the trail, and so you're getting up into some fucking like, this is not even rural anymore. Like, you're out where, like, you know, hikers periodically will come down to Roanoke. There's a big ass Appalachian trail that people will take, and they will divert into Roanoke, or, you know, there's shorter trails up the Blue Ridge. You're heading up onto like one of them one of them like no shit like wild ass trails that professional hikers will take when they're like, I took months off work for this.
Burgers were a bad choice. Oh God. Oh, oh, no, no, keep it down. Need the fuel. Okay. I didn't bring a shovel. This is inconvenient. Can't just dump the bat. They'll find the bat. I'm right next to it. I don't even know where I am. Okay, well, we're in the middle of the night. We got quite a few hours before dawn starts cracking. I'm gonna have to call in sick or something. I'll just pretend I have influenza. Right before the company flu shot, too. Okay. That's fine. Just gonna... We're gonna bring this down to like a steady hike. Steady hike. Just a steady pace. Like 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 foot in front of the fucking other. Can't believe I finally killed her. Really wasn't planning on killing her. Why am I talking in a rhythm? What? Why? This is I don't. I wasn't even in high school band. I wasn't in any clubs in high school. Now that I think about it. Sidetracks. God damn it, Bill. Oh God, I'm talking to myself while addressing myself by my own name. This is bad. Okay. We're gonna go up a ways. We're gonna find a good place to go off trail a bit. We're gonna use the bat as a rudimentary shovel to dig the bat's grave.
Oh God! All right, so you're going along, and I mean, there's woods everywhere, and there's briefly you realize you're getting up the way onto the mountain. I mean, you know what? That's distinctly possible. I'll give you a shot at that. You will. You know what? Fuck it. Let me eyeball a thing. So you're running down the trail. Um, let's roll to see which you end up at because I have another thought. You want high or low?
Hi.
There we go. Oh Jesus! So you're running along. You following a trail, and then you're like, "Nah, I gotta break into the woods. Yeah, break into the fucking woods. That's what I'm gonna do." So you break through like into the trees. You're shoving through shrubs and shit. The fucking plants. Damn it, nature. And you're just kind of bumbling along. You have no idea where the fuck you are. You're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. However, maybe it's the moonlight. I mean, you've always had pretty good night vision, so you're stumbling along and go ahead and give me an alertness. We'll see how far out you spot this.
Fail.
So, hilariously, as opposed to spotting at a distance out, you're kind of stumbling through. There's a bit of a clearing. You don't want to go into a clearing. That's nah. You don't know why, but that's totally asking for trouble.
Yeah.
However, you don't realize it until you practically fucking stumble into the place. In fact, let's see which it is. You know what? It's not that you even see the place. It's that you damn near run face fucking first into this gate. It's because you're looking around, you're looking at the branches, you're looking at the trees, you're looking at the shrubs, you're kind of freaking the fuck out. And the fence is just, the pieces are just narrow enough that you're not really focusing until you damn near run into the thing.
Oh, my fucking nose. First my ear, then it's my nose. Is this a gate? What the fuck?
You'll actually probably be running into the fencing, not so much the open gate.
Is there a property out here? The fuck? I haven't even heard of a property out here. There's no passable road that would even lead here, right? Oh. Wait a minute. Maybe the soil's like looser here. I could steal a shovel to bury the bat. Perfect. And he starts trying to move along, see if he can find an inn.
All right. So you come around down the fencing, you hit a corner, you come down another like edge of fencing, because sooner or later you're going to hit a gate. You know, if you just keep going the same direction. And you do. You get to a point where you turn a corner and you can even kind of see down the way that one of the gate sides is kind of hanging open. But standing out, not terribly distant from what you're beginning to realize as you come around and see markers, is that is some old ass graveyard. Those tombstones are ridiculous sizes and shapes. It's definitely not the standard shit you see nowadays. It's not little panels on the ground. And there's no, like, they're not in a particular kind of row and order. But more the point, in the middle, you'll be seeing the back rather than the front. But there's a clear space in front of all this fencing where the gate is. This is the front quote of the graveyard. And there is some clear space, and then there's the back of this building.
This is the beginning of every horror movie I've ever seen in my life.
It is.
Well, murder, evading the police, trespassing, and soon theft. If I don't go into the creepy murder house, I won't get creepy murdered there. I'm just going to go around, find a tool shed, start burying this goddamn bat.
All right, it is a pleasant thought. So you come around to the gate, and you slide in there, start glancing around. Give me an alertness check. Your merit will count.
Sweet. Five.
Wow. Okay, so there's no shed out here. This is just a gated, fenced, probably some big family's graveyard. But with that fucking roll, there is a place that is a little more recently churned up. It's not like fresh turned earth or anything. It's been rained on, it's been stomped down. But there's definitely a spot that you can tell was dug. Like, and let's be honest, if depending on how tunnel visioned you are, it's like, hey, something I can probably dig up more easily than this packed earth everywhere else.
Perfect. I'll have to use the bat in my original shitty idea. But maybe I can make some headway. This looks like softer.
Oh my god. So I'm not going to make you roll, because one way or another, you will eventually succeed. It's just going to take you a lot longer digging with a blunt-ass bat. That's right, you might have done better with a stick at this point. But whatever the case, eventually you'll be able to dig up enough dirt to bury this bat.
So I have an important question to ask you.
You do not find it, no. Not unless you're digging really deep.
Want to high-low it?
I mean, how paranoid is he? Is he going to dig like that good deep hole?
He just ran into the Blue Ridge Mountains to bury a baseball bat.
Let's high-low it. Fuck it.
High roller.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, you're digging. You're target locked. You're in this. You gotta get it deep. You gotta get really deep. Can't have anyone figure out it's here. So you're digging, and like at a couple points you say fuck it, because once you get past that first like nasty bit up top where it's been packed down properly, it's a little easier to move, and honestly your hands will scoop better. And you're kind of digging and pawing, and like you really you want to get down deep in there. And then you unearth a hand, or at least some fingers.
So he doesn't realize what he's looking at initially.
I mean, it's dark.
It is. But, that's not Earth. It's a little squishier, and he just, he's got the moon on his side.
And it's cold.
Yeah. He kneels down and he takes a peer at it, and that's when, because of his wonderful merit, he will realize what he's looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to wake people up, I will simply tell you that he starts screaming like a little girl.
You, digging in a loose patch of earth in a graveyard, find what's almost inevitable and do in fact start screaming like a little girl.
He drops the baseball bat and backs away from it with his hands bunched up to his chest.
You're dirty now.
They are dirty. And screams some more. And in reality, this is a trick of the eyes. But the paranoia and the stress and the exertion makes him think for a hot second that those fingers even twitched. And he is out of that hole.
Yep.
And so what I imagine certain other interested parties that we'll interact with tomorrow will first be treated to is him running pell-mell across the open, visible, moonlit spaces of this property, screaming, "Oh my God, don't kill me, zombie!"
I dare say that is a perfect place to close this fucking scene. Oh, thank you for watching Lost Cub. In this case, the Foothills, but going into our Alpine storyline. See you next time.